The Energon Universe is in danger. Cobra Commander has found a new ally, willing or not, that may just make him unstoppable. Unless, of course, someone is one step ahead of him. Cobra Commander discovers the secret to controlling Energon, but will he live long enough to use it? Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics. Cobra Commander, Volume 1, Issue 4, The Energon Universe. Under duress, Ripper leads Cobra Commander to a bunker where the Dreadlocks have been keeping a scientist, forcing him to experiment with Energon. The scientist says, "Are you here to save me, Cobra Commander?" Yes, the scientist says, "Thank you, thank you. Those brutes took me, those dreadnoughts kidnapped me, and threw me down here to work." The commander says, "You don't have to worry about them now. They are being dealt with." The scientist thanks Cobra Commander, believing he's come to rescue him, and explains how the dreadnought would harvest a raw energon from the swamps. Then he would convert it into new forms of energy. The dreadnoughts wanted him to make some energon, but he soon found out that it was possible to create new forms of the substance by diluting it with other forms of radiation to create a less pure but still useful form. He demonstrated this by electrifying a shard of pink energon, converting it into blue cube form. Cobra Commander places it before his insectoid robots, which quickly devour the cube and are transformed by the energy. Pleased with the results, the commander tells the scientist that they'll need to get him a much bigger lab. Meanwhile, Nemesis Enforcer has killed most of the dreadnoughts, leaving just Zarana, Xandar, Torch, and Buzzer alive to face the behemoth. Knowing they can't take him on in a fight, Xandar concocts a plan to distract Nemesis by blowing up a bottle of their unrefined energon. The plan works, allowing the surviving dreadnoughts to escape on an airboat. Nemesis decides to let them go and meets up with the commander at the bunker, who tells him of their good fortune. With the scientist's work and the dreadnoughts' list of buyers, they can bring the greatest army the world has ever seen to Cobra La. However, Nemesis then turns his claws on Cobra Commander. In the commotion, Ripper escapes and flees into the swamps. The commander pleads for his life, proclaiming his loyalty to Cobra La, but Nemesis balks at this and reveals that Globulus never trusted the commander, and he is no longer needed now that they have the scientist. The battle begins with Nemesis Enforcer pounding the ground, triggering an avalanche. Cobra Commander expresses his dismay at Globulus's betrayal, insisting on his loyalty to Cobra La as he releases one of his insectoids. Nemesis swats the insect away and mocks Cobra Commander as pathetic. Nemesis Enforcer remarks that even with Cobra Commander's mask, he could discern the falsehood in his words. He asserts that his world is pure and that Cobra Commander is an outsider, would only tarnish it with his deceit. Meanwhile, Cobra Commander hides behind a tree, seizing Buzzsaw's chainsaw. Nemesis declares that with the scientists in their possession, they no longer need Cobra Commander. He challenges Cobra Commander's loyalty to Cobra La, suggesting that dying for the cause should be a source of pride. Despite Cobra Commander's attempt to attack with the chainsaw, it proves ineffective against Nemesis Enforcer. Nemesis Enforcer seizes Cobra Commander by the head, tearing off his mask as electricity courses through him. Rather than weakening him, it appears to invigorate him, making him even stronger. Cobra Commander pleads once more, begging to be taken back, promising to explain. However, Nemesis Enforcer remains resolute, declaring that Cobra Commander's true home was never with them. As he slashes and cuts into Cobra Commander's flesh, it's evident that there will be no mercy. Nemesis Enforcer seizes Cobra Commander soaring into the air before hurling down in a relentless descent, slamming Cobra Commander into the unforgiving ground. As Cobra Commander expresses to the Enforcer that he will simply not lay down and die, Nemesis Enforcer's cold response is a taunting challenge. Then run, human, run. Cobra Commander defiantly declares that he will not flee from Nemesis Enforcer or anyone else, asserting he has his own secret weapon, the Energon. Despite the punishing fall, Cobra Commander miraculously survives and seizes control. With a determined resolve, he merges with the insectoids, fashioning a mechanical glove around his hand and infusing it with corrupt energon of the scientist. As Nemesis Enforcer descends from above, Cobra Commander raises his hand, channeling the power of energon to release a powerful blast at his adversary. Boom! boom. Cobra Commander then finds Ripper limping away and forces him to tell him who the Dreadnoks were planning on selling the Energon to. Ripper tells him it was a bloke with the biggest company in the world, Destro of M.A.R.S Industries. Notes: on the first page, Cobra Commander is seen wiping away the bloody smile that was painted onto his mask in the previous issue. Cobra Commander little insect bots were seen in issue 1, where they were used to kill Globulus's royal guards. This issue finally begins to intersect with Destro and M.A.R.S plotline, first featured in Duke, and will soon be followed up in an upcoming Destro series. While Energon has traditionally been depicted as pink in Generation 1 inspired media, Energon has also been depicted as blue in prior media. This issue both has a different forms of Energon. Next, presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Cobra Commander Volume 1, Issue 5, The Energon Universe.